Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we shall discuss about topic the interface concept in object-oriented programming. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in programming, especially object-oriented programming, and you want to learn about. So let's just start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, interface is a very important concept in object-oriented programming, and like other concepts, it's a very fundamental concept, similar like polymorphism, abstraction, and inheritance. So, interface is also very important. It's basically a programming construct that defines a contract for a class. Basically, it defines a set of method or function that a class must implement without providing any implementation detail. Friend, we know that class is basically a set of two things, the properties and the methods. Properties means the attributes and method means the behavior. So basically the abstract is basically a class which only provides the construct of a method, and it doesn't provide you the implementation detail. The class which implements that interface will provide the detail. Okay, so interface allow you to define a common set of methods that multiple classes can adhere to, promoting code reuse and ensuring that class follow a certain structure. Here, friend, first of all, whenever we are defining an interface, it must have to start with the interface keyword. So that means it is an interface. Okay, so for example, this is an interface example in which interface my interface, and it has two methods, void method 1 and int method 2, which takes the string parameter. Here remember one thing, that the methods which are defined here, it only consists of method signature. It doesn't have any body. Here you can notice that void method 1, it doesn't have any body, like any open bracket, close bracket, any code is doesn't mention here. Similarly, in int method 2, there is no implementation. So the interface is only providing you the construct of the methods which are mentioned here, and it doesn't have any body. Okay, so that means the my interface, which is the interface, it consists of two methods, void method 1 and method 2, and it doesn't have any body. Now for when we talk about the implementation, the class that implements the interface must provide concrete implementation for all the methods, and using the implement keyword to indicate that a class is adhering. For example, my class implements my interface. Okay, so this is my interface. Okay, so my class implementing the my interface, and it provides you the detail of method 1 and method 2. Here public void method 1, so you can write the code here for method 1. Similarly, method 2, which takes the string str and it return the str.len. So basically, friend, here this was the interface, okay, which consists of two methods, method 1 and method 2. Now the my class, which basically implements the my interface, it defines or provides you the detail of method 1 and method 2. Here you can see it has the open bracket, close bracket, and the implementation code will mention here for method 1. Similarly, for implementation for method 2 mentioned here. Remember one thing, the signatures of like should be same, like it is the void, it is the integer, and if you talk about here, it is a void, it is the integer. Method 1 is void, method 2 is integer. Okay, so here we have provided the implementation. Here is another concept of a multiple interface as well. A class can implement multiple interfaces, allowing to inherit the method contracts from each interface. For example, interface 1, which consists of method A, interface 2, which has a method B. Again, you may notice that method A and method B doesn't have any implementation. It only mention the signature, it only mention the method, but it doesn't have any body. Here the class my implementation implements interface 1 and interface 2. This interface 1, this interface 2, and it provides you the detail for method A and method B as well. Method A is in interface 1 and method B is interface 2. Okay, so you can get an idea that an interface, a class can implement multiple interfaces as well. However, if you are implementing multiple interfaces, so you must have to provide detail for all the methods which are mentioned in interfaces, and also secondly, you must have to follow strictly the signatures of the methods which are defined in the interfaces. So this is a very good example of multiple interfaces. Then there is a concept of default method. From starting from Java 8, interfaces can have a concept of default method, which provides a default implementation for a method. Classes implementing the interface can choose to override the default method. Like this is the interface, my interface. This is the void method 1. Here you can see the default void default method. This is the default method concept which prints system.out.println default implementation of default method. Here you can notice that in the interface you can define a default method and it has a body as well. It basically comes from the Java 8 actually. Here you can see if a class is implementing the my interface, you can mention, you can define, you can basically you can override the default method in the class which is implementing this interface. So it's depend on you if you want to override the default method in the implementation class. So it depend on you. Then static method. Static method means the Java 8 also introduced the static methods interfaces which are associated with the interface itself, not with any instance of a class implementing the interface. For example, see this is the interface, my interface, static void static method, system.out.println system static method in interface. So this is an example of static method. Basically static method means that which are associated with the interface, not with any instance of a class. So basically this method static void is basically associated with its own interface. So the class which is implementing that interface, it doesn't need to implement or doesn't need to implement the static method. Then use cases. Use cases means that interfaces are often used to define contracts for classes in various scenarios, such as implementing a specific behavior, runnable interface in Java, or ensuring that a class can be serializable interface. This is an example of serializable, like class, my serializable class implements serializable.